If you are looking to buy a new high-end gaming PC build, but you are looking to spend under $2,000, because usually RTX 4080 Super gaming PCs go for around $2,000, well, this video is going to be perfect for you because I will show you the best $1,800 or below gaming PC build with the RTX 4080 Super, and it will run any game at 4K resolution, very high FPS, and also 1440p in case you have a 1440p monitor. Now, I want to say that the links to this system and also the alternatives that I will mention throughout this video, whether they are more expensive or cheaper, are going to be down in the video description with the latest prices and availability. My name is Valentino, and with that being said, let's start. First, I will talk about the CPU. This one is the fastest CPU in the entire market when it comes to gaming, or at least one of the fastest ones, and I'm talking about the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. Right now the price is a bit higher than it used to be, but I expect this price to go down very soon. Anyway, it is still a very nice price for this CPU considering the level of performance that you get, because you are going to be getting the highest FPS possible when it comes to high CPU demanding titles. For example, let's say you want to play Fortnite competitive settings, or you want to play high-end simulators like Flight Simulator, or maybe you want to play Cities Skylines where you will need a capable CPU. This is, in my opinion, the best one because it's also very power efficient. It doesn't require a ton of cooling, so it's going to bring the total cost down, and the level of performance is top tier. If you want to play esports shooters, let's say you want to play Fortnite or Valorant, or maybe you want to play CS2, League of Legends, these type of games, at 1440p you will be able to achieve 500 plus FPS on average in competitive settings depending on the exact game, and then if you want to play at 4K you can expect well over 300 FPS on average, once again depending on the exact game and the settings. And of course you can use this system for 1080p high FPS for esports, but I do think that is a bit of an overkill. But of course, if you do want the best of the best for esports and you must have the RTX 4080 Super and you have a 1080p 540Hz monitor, of course you can still buy this system and get amazing performance. Now, because you get this Ryzen 7 CPU, you are on the AM5 platform, which means that down the line, if you want to buy a new CPU from AMD that's going to be more beefy, then you can upgrade without having to change the motherboard. By the way, speaking of the motherboard, we have the Gigabyte B650 Eagle AX, which in my opinion is a great motherboard for the price, right now going on a discount for $140, and it has all the features that you are going to need for gaming. Then I went with an aftermarket CPU cooler for our Ryzen 7, which is going to be necessary, but it's only a $40 cooler that's going to get the job done, nothing too crazy, but as I said before, it's going to get the job done, and that's the most important thing. You are not going to be running into issues when it comes to your temperatures, so big thumbs up for this Phantom Spirit cooler. Now, for the RAM, I went with a 32 gigs of RAM kit. This is 6000 MHz CL30 timings, one of the fastest memory kits out there, and this is the sweet spot for gaming. 32 gigs of RAM is going to be ideal not only for gaming, which by the way, some games are requiring more than 16 gigs of RAM, so 32 gigs of RAM is ideal also for gaming. Not only for that, also for content creation, productivity work, streaming, and other tasks is going to be essential. So this kit from Team Group is really good for the price, one of the cheapest 32 gigs of RAM kits with this type of speed and CL timings. Then for the storage, I went with a 1TB Gen 3 SSD. You can always upgrade the storage down the line if you need to, so don't worry about it if you feel like 1TB might not be enough in the long run, because you have more than one M.2 slot in your motherboard, so you can always upgrade, and it's a pretty easy upgrade to make. Then for the GPU, of course, we have the RTX 4080 Super, and this is going to be your main component when it comes to gaming if you want to achieve a smooth level of performance. Now, with this 4080 Super, you can expect 85 plus FPS on average in native resolution at 4K on the most high demanding titles. And here I'm talking about games like Cyberpunk 2077 or The Last of Us Part 1, very high demanding games on the highest settings. So 85 plus FPS on average is one of the best averages in the entire market, right under the RX 7900 XTX from AMD and the RTX 4090 from Nvidia as well. But as you know, the RTX 4090 is much more expensive, so in terms of price to performance, the 4080 Super is much better than the 4090. And then if you turn on the DLSS, let's say you want to play the most high demanding games, but you want to turn on the DLSS to achieve higher performance, well, the average, instead of being 85 FPS, is going to be closer to 100 or 110 FPS, depending on the game and depending on the settings that you are playing. But honestly, the 4080 Super, as you know, is a 4K graphics card that's going to be able to play any game that you want. And if you are looking to play at 1440p, maybe upgrade to 4K down the line, well, for 1440p, the 4080 Super is able to average over 140 FPS when it comes to native resolution in high demanding games. So in my opinion, an overkill, but of course, if you have a 1440p monitor and you are happy with it, you just want very high FPS, this system is going to be amazing for you. Then for the case, I picked the Montech XR PC case. This one I think looks amazing and the price is very nice at $63. Now, this is not the most high-end case out there, but the airflow is pretty good. You get 3 pre-installed RGB fans, so you will have no issues when it comes to your CPU or GPU temps, which is the most important part because the airflow is pretty good. However, if you can spend a little bit more, for about $12, you can get 3 extra fans from Thermalright and get better airflow. Don't worry, because I will leave those fans down in the video description as well with this system. And last but not least, we have the power supply. I went with the NZXT CA50. This is an 850 watt power supply that's A tier rated, meaning that it's going to be the best quality out there, and most importantly, your PC will not be in danger with this power supply. It will not shut down randomly, and you guarantee that you get yourself a good quality, well-branded power supply for a high-end system. The total price for this PC, which by the way might be different from the price that you see when you are watching this video, because as you know, prices change. And remember that if you want to check the latest pricing and availability, you will have every link to every component in the description. But anyway, right now it's going for $1,843. And if you want a cheaper option, because I know that the title says $1,800 4080 Super gaming PC, so if you want a PC that's going to be under $1,800 with the 4080 Super, then I do recommend you downgrading the CPU from the Ryzen 7 7800X3D to the Ryzen 7 7700X. This CPU is going to be amazing. It will not bottleneck your 4080 Super, but if you are looking to play high CPU demanding titles, as I said before, Fortnite, Valorant, these type of games, then you are going to be losing a little bit of performance. So if your main focus is esports gaming, then I do not recommend you making this downgrade unless you don't have a capable monitor, because if you have a 240Hz 4K monitor or a 240Hz 1440p monitor, the 7700X is going to be able to achieve more than 240 FPS on average regardless, so you will not notice a difference. But if your monitor is a 540Hz one, then the 7800X3D is going to be able to take advantage of those extra frame rates. And by the way, the price for the system with the Ryzen 7 7700X when I'm recording this video is $1,757, so quite cheaper than the 7800X3D variant. And if you want to go even cheaper, then you can go for an AMD graphics card in the RX 7900XTX, which is basically the same as the 4080 Super in terms of rasterized performance. In fact, the 7900XTX is slightly faster. You will be able to average around 90 plus FPS when it comes to 4K native resolution, no FSR enabled, which is the upscaler from AMD, but you have to keep in mind that here you are losing on the NVIDIA feature set. So you don't have DLSS, you have FSR, which is not as good as DLSS when it comes to image quality, and then the level of ray tracing performance for AMD is not there compared to NVIDIA. On top of that, for content creation and productivity work applications, usually NVIDIA GPUs work better, but if you do not care about any of that, you just want to do gaming on native resolution, whether it's 4K or 1440p, then the 7900XTX becomes a really good option because it's cheaper and it's going to deliver the same or slightly better performance depending on the game. And the price for the system with the 7700X and the 7900XTX is going to be $1,700 when recording this video. However, if you have more money than $1,800 to spend and you are looking for potential upgrades for the 4080 Super main system with the 7800X3D, then for around $110 more, I recommend you getting the extra fans for your case, which are only about $12 to $13. Then I recommend you changing the motherboard to the B650 Aorus Elite AX, which is a better motherboard that's going to support more beefy CPUs down the line from AMD. And then I recommend you upgrading the storage to 2 TB, so you got more space to download more games or other programs. The total price, if you make all of these upgrades, is going to be $1,960 $260. And I know that all of this may sound confusing, and I know that every upgrade or downgrade that I mentioned may sound confusing, but don't worry about it, because as I said before, every link for every alternative and for the main PC will be in the description, so there you will have everything organized. And if you found valuable information throughout this video, leave a like and subscribe, it's going to help the channel a lot. And if you have a different budget, let's say you have more than $2,000 or you have around $1,500, you will have my video on the best gaming PC builds of the month in the top right of the screen. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you